Okay, today we're going to solve quadratic equations by factoring. And so we've talked a bit about the zero product property. So let's consider AB equals 0. Think about what your solutions would be. If A is 0, the left side, of course, 0 times anything would be 0. Or B could equal 0, and 0 times whatever A is would give you 0. Or, of course, they both could equal 0. So we're going to use that same principle when we're solving quadratics. You need one side equal to 0. So notice in example 1 and 2, that is already true. And in example 1 and 2, these are already factored. If I were to multiply the left side, I would get a quadratic. So these are already in factored form. So notice in example 1, I could say, okay, x minus 5 is a factor. If that equals 0, I'm going to get a solution. Well, I solve that and I have x equals 5. That should be something that you can plug in right here. And notice you're going to get 0 times something. So that's going to give that whole left side equal to 0. But then we also need to consider the second factor, x plus 3. That could equal 0. So my second solution is -3. So I have a -3 and a 5 as my solutions. And this is a quadratic, so we should expect two solutions. All right, notice in the second example, it's very similar. It's just the factors are a little harder. So 2x minus 7 could equal 0. So when I solve that, x is going to be 7/2. Or 3x plus 4 could equal 0. And when I solve that, I'm going to get a -4/3. So my two solutions, -4/3, +7/2. Remember, you can check both of those. Notice in example 3 and 4, I do not have one side equal to 0. So that's always your first step. So I'm going to subtract this 20y. I like to keep my quadratic positive, but it doesn't mean you have to. So we've got 5y to the second minus 20y equals 0. And then you need to go through all of the steps of factoring that we've talked about. The first thing you always want to look for is there a GCF. So in this case, there is a GCF. So we're going to factor out that GCF of 5y. And then what's left? We have a y minus 4. Well, notice I have two factors. I'm going to set both of those equal to 0. So 5y could equal 0. Y minus 4 could equal 0. And when I solve that, I have 0 and I have 4. So my two solutions are 0 and 4. And the last one, notice I would just add that 49. You do want to make sure that your trinomial or your binomial, whatever you're dealing with, is in descending order. So I've got x squared minus 14x plus 49 equals 0. Ask yourself what multiplies to give you 49 and adds to give you -14. And you should get x minus 7 times x minus 7. This is what I call a double solution. So we could set both of those equal to 0. But you're going to get the same solution, and our solution is 7. Okay, you should be able to do your quadratics review number 3 now. I hope you have a great day.